Welcome to a tour of Lesson Builder in Sakai. When you see this question, what do you think about? If you're like most faculty preparing for a new semester, you're thinking about what you are going to be doing in the physical or virtual classroom. You'll probably start with student learning outcomes. Then you'll make sure you know how you're going to assess the outcomes by assignments or tests. But the real question is, do you know how the students will learn the outcomes you have in mind? There is that step in between, stating the outcomes and the assessment. How do the students actually learn the content of your course? Is there only one way to learn it? Do different students have different ways of learning your outcomes? The question is, how do students learn? You can start by making predictions about how your students learn. These will probably be based on your own learning experiences in your area. You may want to ask your students this year, not what did you learn, but how did you learn the content of this course? You may be surprised at a variety of answers you get. I started to put the content of my lectures on the web many years ago. One student came back the next week and said, "Thanks for doing that. I watched it 3 times. I finally got it." The sad thing was, I did not know he didn't get it the week before. He looked like it was being understood. The student needed reprocessing before the pieces came together. By understanding how they learn will help you organize your content for optimal learning. It also allows you to take control of your students' learning. You may want to create pathways that require completion of certain parts before proceeding to the next part. Sakai Lesson Builder allows you to become the designer of your student learning experiences. It starts with the learning outcomes and lets you decide about the content, the media, the resources that should be part of the module. Then you can decide on where collaboration and discussion should come in. It also allows for the students to present evidence of their learning process and learn from each other's experiences. Lesson Builder allows you to create custom modules for the left navigation panel. You can make as many as you like and rename them to produce the desired organization of your content. If you decide later to, you can easily change the order around. Each module contains pages of content and interactions for the learner. On any page in Lesson Builder, you can add text, whether it be content or directions or explanations. You can add media from Media Gallery in Sakai, YouTube, or any media that gives you a link or embed code. Instead of telling them to go find media to watch, it is right on the page when their brain is ready for it. You can display any material that you've already put in resources in Sakai. You can create subpages to any of the modules and subpages of subpages, depending on how you want your students to be presented with the content. This helps you follow the principles of chunking information in 5 to 7 pieces for easy recognition and retrieval of information. You can even add a website that you may have developed in a program like Dreamweaver. Zip the pages and load in the site. And now the best part, you can create interactive segments to the pages. You can add a question, similar to a poll. So as the students are reading or viewing media, at some point they may be required to respond to a poll. You can set it up so that they or you can see the results, and for you, who has responded. This is a great way to be tracking learning activity. Add assignments follows the principle of anytime you present content, it should be followed by, and now I would like you to. Never leave them hanging with, so now what do I do now that I've looked at this media or read the content? Or you can give them a quiz right on the same page. You will comprehend differently if you know you're going to have to respond to what you have just taken in. You can start a forum discussion right from the page in Lesson Builder. Now, forums, assignments, and quizzes are connected to the forum, assignments, and quiz tools in Sakai, and the results can be connected to the gradebook automatically. You can also add a comment box after some content, which works like a blog where students can post comments and share ideas. Finally, you can have students create their own pages right off of your pages. This is a great way for the students to share examples of results they have created by mastering the material in this module. The pages even have comment sections for you and other students to respond to their work. Everyone likes to take a shortcut to make life easier, so we've created a shortcut in the form of a template for you to build Lesson Builder pages. You can find the template at tinyurl.com Lesson Builder template. Just type the URL into your browser and you'll have access to the template. If you want to use the template, please make sure to make a copy to your own Google Drive. Then you can make changes to the template and use it to build your pages. This is going to be a quick demonstration of how to use the template for building a lesson builder site. First of all, let's go over some of these. The name tag, this is the name of the tool that will appear on the left navigation panel. So I want to call my lesson builder ICE. And over here, I'm going to keep track of whether it's a page or a subpage, where I'm going to put the content. Over here, we're going to keep track of our interactive parts of the page. So if I want to put in a question or poll, if I want to have the audience make a comment, I want to keep track of that in this column so I know where all my interactive elements of the lesson builder are going to be. In this column, I'm keeping the content. If there's text content, I know this is a text tool. And in this column, I'm keeping a reminder here of which tool are going to be used to add the content to your page, whether it's text or media. So in this top page, I want to have the text ice cubes are a part of everyday life. And I want an image of ice cubes. So I've stored where the image of ice cubes is located in a URL, and I have the URL handy for me right here. And here I have a YouTube, so I put in the URL to the YouTube, and I can check and see if that's the YouTube that I want playing, and it is. How to make crystal clear ice cubes. So that's my lesson builder template, and it's going to keep track of pages and subpages and what the content is and what the tool is, and then any interactive components to it. By the way, this page was made with an app called ThingLink, where you can put in a picture and then put hotspots on the picture. It'll display either text, or it'll display an image, or to display media. You can actually have it play a video right in the page that you're looking at. So you can use your imagination for how you could possibly use ThingLink. Let's take a look at how we can go from a lesson builder template to a Sakai course and creating a lesson builder. This is our template, and we have our information that we're going to need to put the pages together. And when we go to Sakai, we're going to scroll down on the left-hand side and find Site Editor, Edit Tools, and then scroll down and look for Lesson Builder without the check mark, and click on that. Click Continue. And now we can name the tool as it's going to be on the other side. So in our template, we had said that the name tab was going to be ICE. So I'll copy that over to Sakai and paste that in and continue. Click at the bottom, Finish. And if I scroll down now, I can see at the bottom I have a new tool called ICE. If I want to, I can go to Page Order, scroll down at the bottom, find ICE, and bring it up, and I'll just, for convenience here, bring it up to right under Site Editor. Click Save. And so when I scroll down to Site Editor, I have my tab called ICE. I could put it anywhere in the left-hand column. When I click on ICE, it gives me the page where it has all of the directions on how you can set up a Lesson Builder page. Adding text, resources, multimedia, other things you can put on the page. As you can see, there are a number of directions that you can use to set up your page. Let's go back to our template and notice that the first thing on the top page is some text and an image. So I'll copy the text and add text using this button. And I want the picture and the text to appear next to each other, so I'm going to insert a table. I'll make it only one row, 2 columns. I'd like it a little bit wider, so I'll make it 700 pixels wide. And I'm going to leave the border on there for now and click OK. I'm in the first cell of my table, and I'll paste the words in and then go over to where I'm going to want the image and go back to my template. And notice for the image, I had made sure I had a URL here that pointed to the image. I'll copy that. And in my table, I'm going to insert an image. That's this little button up here. And there's a URL. Paste that in. I can hit my little refresh button here. As I can see, it's pretty big. So I'm going to make it a little bit smaller, make it only 300. And actually make it even a little smaller than that, 200. And click OK. And I now have my ice cubes that are a part of everyday life and a picture of ice cubes. However, I don't really want that border showing around the table, so I'll right-click on here to bring up Table Properties. And where it says Border Size, I'll simply remove that border. And then click Save. And now the first part of my Lesson Builder page is ice cubes are a part of everyday life. Now I'll go back to my template and notice that the next thing is YouTube. Again, I want to copy my URL and go back to Sakai, and this time I'm going to add multimedia. Whatever I add will go at the bottom of whatever is there now. Add multimedia and add a URL, paste, and save. And now I have my media showing in my page. And as you can see, our next entry is a poll. Do you like square, round, or oblong cubes? We're going to copy that. Go back over to Sakai. And this time we're going to add a question. And the question text is that. And my first answer is and then I want to add another possible answer. And then add another answer. And I'll have 3 selections. Show students, and then I have some options here to show students a graph of how others responded. And I could grade the question, and the grade would go in the title in the grade book and give the maximum number of points. So you can actually give a question and it'll be scored and sent to the grade book. Text shown if the answer is correct, we don't need that, or if the answer is incorrect. And so I'm just going to update the item. So now I have ice cubes part of everyday life. Do you like square, round, or oblong cubes? And they can select an answer. And then they can also show the pool, which would show them how many people have voted for each one. And it now says I want to have a subpage about icing injuries. So I'll copy that icing injuries and go back to Sakai and add a subpage, which I'm going to call icing injuries, and I want to show it as a button. I'll create. I now have a subpage, and in that subpage I want to put one application of ice is for injuries. That's a text. Copy, add text, paste, and save. And I'll go back to my template, and now I have a YouTube, but this time it's an iframe, which means I want it embedded in the course. I'm going to copy that, and I'm going to edit my one application. And this time, I'm going to put in a bunch of Z's and click on Source. And I can clearly see where the Z's are on the page. And now I'm going to paste, and that's the iframe information about my video. And click off of Source. You'll see you have a box here now, and it's just showing you where the video is going to show. And I click on Save. And I now have one application for ices for injuries and my nice little video showing in the page. And now I can go back to my template. And in this part, I want to put a comment. What kind of injury do you ice? So I'm going to copy that to Sakai. And I want to add text. What kind of injuries do you ice? Save. And now I want to go to More Tools and Add Comments tool. Now I have a title, I have the video, I have the question, what kind of injury do you ice, and add comment. I can now go back, and on my page I can see I now have my initial information, ice, the video, and a subpage on icing injury. That's basically how we put together a page and a subpage using the template and copying and pasting into Lesson Builder. And you'll notice how convenient it is to have all of my information in this column, so I can just cut and paste, and I know when the information is going to be an interactive tool to introduce to the students. That's how to use the template with Lesson Builder.